It is the Riot Podcast, Tuesday, May 16th edition. And Nikki, you just want to get your announcements done here?
Oh, sure. You want me to?
Yeah.
All right. So you shouldn't put your voice high.
You guys make it sound so happy.
I know.
Nikki, would you like to say your big announcement?
Even Eric laughed so hard when you were teasing the day
I said that yesterday,
He
too.
was like, he made it sound like a contest was
Tune
coming.
in for tomorrow. Big show. We got a big announcement coming.
How could I tease a big announcement that wouldn't scare everybody?
I know. You actually did just fine, but I got a really good laugh at that. But what we have announced, if you go to radiou.com/Nikki, I get my own page. Or if you go to Radio U Official on Instagram or our Radio U Facebook page, even our Radio U Riot show page is there. But I have announced that this Friday will be my last full Riot show. I've been diagnosed with a very rare and stupid disease, and I need to stop talking. That just seems to be the most major thing that my doctors are telling me. I'll be moving to Florida, where I'm closer to my specialist and closer to the ocean. I just have a better climate, but I am not leaving Radio U. Thankfully, I can still be a part of the behind-the-scenes stuff that I've always done with Radio U, and I will be back to fill in for special podcasts and special shows. So I will not be gone forever. I just can't daily do the podcast, which the podcast is a section of a big Riot show that we do.
Mm-hmm. This is not, you might be able to tell maybe by the tone that this is not the first time we've now had to do this.
I'm better now.
And we've known for a little bit, but it's also been helpful to see, I think, all of the support now that again, this has been out by the time that we're recording this, is so many people chiming in on all the socials and in the text at 8772 Radio U.
It's been hard because everybody's been messaging me in between when we did the show today. So I would just start crying, not when we're on air, but just because I'm reading someone's very sweet message. So I love so much of our Riot listeners and our podcast listeners. You guys really do mean the world to me. So I know, though, it's the right time, and I am so glad that I have Hudson and Isaiah to leave the show with. And I'll still, like I said, be a part of things, just not every day.
Yeah, it's it's tough because obviously it's very sad that you're leaving, but also I'm excited for you going to Florida and everything.
I'm gonna be in Florida.
You're going to be like able to relax a little bit.
I know.
In the mornings,
nice.
at least, you just sleep in.
Yeah.
But it's just safer for me to be in a better climate, and just my body needs a break. It's just tough, so that I'll get.
Other than that, we do have a podcast.
We do. There is other stuff in this show, and so my last podcast will be Friday, the official, all that. So.
Yeah, and did we mention if you need to, you can check out radiou.com/Nikki, and that's where everything is posted there.
Yep,
so
full
you
story
can,
there.
refer back to that if you have further questions.
If you have any questions or just want to say hi, because again, I'm still always going to be here. But you're right, we do have a full podcast as well.
Yeah, we talked about pet names. It's hard to transition off of that.
Yeah, right. Hard left turn.
Yes, we talked about pet names, and
You did great.
if we have any embarrassing ones that we call our partners.
We talked about some that we've had, and
Well, you
some
need to
people texted
clarify.
in.
This isn't names for your pets.
Yeah,
This is
it
pet
confusing.
names that you have for your special someone that you call each other.
But have you guys ever heard secondhand, a couple that had a real tough one?
A real doozy?
Yeah.
Not too much. I think people try to keep them quiet.
Oh, that's weird because I know one couple that the husband called the wife Pookie.
Pookie?
Yeah.
Oh, that feels like
Who is that?
from a show. Who's
Do
that?
we know? Is there someone here?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was Nikki.
It's
or
Michael, our
Michael?
boss.
Yes.
No. Yeah. No, it's nobody here.
I have a really close friend of mine. He has a new girlfriend, right? They've been dating for 3 months or so.
Ooh, a nickname already?
And they're
Oh,
love.
that's prime nickname.
They
time.
love bomb each other like crazy. They hang out every day, and they when we're around, they'll do baby talk to each other.
Yeah.
In front of us, and it's the cringiest thing ever.
Dude, what's their
He was
nicknames?
well, I don't know what their nicknames. They have real weird nicknames, but he was hey, one of them's Lily, but he calls her Lil whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, can you refill my Wawa? And I'm like, whoa.
Oh.
Take it away. I'm
my God.
that's
Sometimes
no.
when you're in that part of the dating thing, everything becomes a nickname just because you do baby talk all the words. So you're smushy wooshy.
I'm like,
Don't
we're right
try
here.
to make it normal.
I'm
It's
staying.
not
All of our
normal.
friends are here. He said that, and then we all just looked at him and we were like, What's wrong with
And
you?
it's so crazy because
Who are you?
3 months in, that's one thing. Can you
Yeah.
imagine they're still doing that? Like they're married 8 years from now
That's
Oh,
crazy.
gosh.
Well,
and
hopefully,
no kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like the baby
Wawa.
talk is just like it's wild.
hopefully Wawa doesn't stick since it's water,
Yeah.
but that's
Yes.
all right.
You don't do any of that, Hudson, when you're around the house?
No, I do not. But my memory was jogged of the nickname for my first girlfriend. That was Goober.
Goober?
Goober.
I can
Goober
so totally see you calling someone
Gooby,
Goober.
And it was totally based off of SpongeBob.
Okay. Did she
Goober.
like it?
She loved that.
She loved it. All right.
Yeah.
She loved the bad boy nickname.
One of us was Goober and the other was Gooby, but I don't know who was who.
You were
at this
Gooby,
point.
weren't you? Oh, gosh. Gooby. I like
know.
that. Goob. Maybe we'll just start calling you that on the show.
Yeah.
Get in line, squab.
Yeah, I know. That was a ridiculous
That's coming
nickname.
up soon.
I've got a bunch of ridiculous names.
Well, we'll let you add yours to this. Make sure you text at 877-2-RADIO-U and enjoy the podcast today. We won't give you any much more longer of it. Intro yesterday's was super long. So
All right.
have a good
Catch
day.
you next
Hey,
time.
guys.
Bye-bye.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
But if you're watching a lot of YouTube, it turns out it might be making you depressed.
Just like YouTube in general, or are we talking certain styles of shows?
I think it's particularly certain styles, but I'll start with the top line here of this study that was done in Australia at Griffith University. It was actually done by their Institute for Suicide Research and Prevention. They found that more frequent habitual YouTube users tend to exhibit higher levels of loneliness, anxiety, and depression. But what they really specifically tied it to was certain types of channels that you might watch tied to certain mental health issues that you may already experience. For example, people who have social anxiety, oftentimes you can turn to YouTube, right? And that's a way of, you don't want to go out. You're not comfortable going
Yeah.
out in face-to-face interaction. And so YouTube can be a substitute for that.
So like, say when eating shows were really popular,
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot of people who did not want to go out and just be around people.
Yeah.
So they would instead sit there and watch someone else eat and eat along with them to feel like they were out.
Right.
When really they weren't.
Yes, exactly. And so what they found in this study was that can actually be detrimental, because even if you do suffer from social anxiety, as an example, that the YouTube is not a suitable substitute, like across the board, for being able to actually go out and have some kind of face-to-face interaction. They said it's particularly harmful if you're under the age of 29, and and there is some certain exceptions. I guess they found some channels that they don't denote here that actually can be helpful, but that is few and far between, and of course some neutral instances as well. But by and large, if you are finding yourself habitually just on YouTube and that is like your interaction with people,
It's not the same.
it's not the same, it's not enough, and it's actually detrimental to your mental health.
It's kind of an interesting study. They say they were just trying to figure out the positives and negatives for mental health implications associated with YouTube, since it is obviously the biggest platform. But maybe you start off, like maybe if you go out, you bring a YouTube video and watch it while you're out.
Oh.
You know, like you're just taking baby steps towards just being out and about, doing more in public. But you could just sit at a coffee shop, watch a video while you're there, but at least you're out for a little bit.
Maybe somebody will come talk to you about
I
it.
know, like
You
that
could
could
strike
work.
up a friendship.
And then you put the video away and you talk to them in person.
If you do have anxiety, that sounds particularly horrible.
Doesn't it sound awful?
Yeah.
But-
Hey, what you watching?
Maybe someone's coming up to you like, oh my gosh.
Oh, just this thing about how I'm depressed.
You want to come watch?
Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere. So maybe there's the place.
That's a start. I also recommend, I mean, just for anything, sometimes we try to find substitutes and we don't even realize for the real thing. And so you got to start with the real thing. Start with Jesus, start with God. Let him direct you to the directions you need to go, the avenues that will work for you, because everybody's different. You want to know more? Start talking to him. Check out RadioU.com/free gift as well.
This is Radio U's worst of the riot.
I've got a story here that, I mean, it's pretty quick and to the point. A drunk driver was stopped in Colorado.
Yeah.
When he was stopped, he tried to switch places with his dog.
Oh, like they would think the dog was driving?
Apparently.
Oh.
The old switcheroo.
The
Well,
old
that's-
switcheroo.
That's not uncommon with drunk drivers to try to switch with like a passenger in there.
Yeah.
But I guess you wouldn't think the dog
with
would
the
be
dog
blamed.
is a little different. This guy was allegedly, of course, this is all alleged, but this is Saturday night. He was caught going 52 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. So, of course, when the police saw that, they pulled him over. As one of the officers approached the vehicle, you could see the man switch places
With the dog.
in the passenger seat, trying to make it look like the dog was driving all along. And you just have to wonder what was the end game.
To try to get the dog to get to be blamed for.
Oh,
so then he's not driving while intoxicated.
Yeah, but is allowing your dog to drive?
I also think that's just as bad.
I think
Yeah.
that's less of a fine, right?
Probably.
What's more of a crime, drunk driving or
Letting your dog drive?
Yeah.
So he got out of the passenger side vehicle, claimed he was not driving.
Of course.
Went
Yeah.
full on into the lie. I am trying to figure out what type of dog it was. I picture like a golden retriever or a lab, something really happy.
See, I was thinking a smaller one because what kind of dog could you quickly switch places with
Oh, true.
without getting out of the vehicle?
Yeah,
it's probably
you're
like
right.
a French bulldog.
Something
let's
like
say.
that. So he is charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, drugs. They're not sure. They're still trying to figure it out. Driving impaired. He was also driving under suspension, speeding, and resisting arrest.
Well, don't give this guy a car. Clearly, he can't be trusted. But maybe he thought the police officer pulls up, sees a dog driving, and would just be so impressed by that
That he wouldn't
that
arrest
he would just
the guy.
let him go. It's like, I can't, technically the same laws of the road don't even apply to dogs, so you can go as fast as you want.
I also want to know what happened to the dog. Like, do
That's
they take
right.
him
Oh,
in?
they take the dog for
Do they-
sure.
Like, where does he go? Does he go to the pound until someone can get him? Or
Probably.
I think based off of watching live
Go
police
ahead and tell them
shows-
about your experiences,
Yeah.
Hudson. What happens?
They
Where does the
probably-
fear
What have you
go?
seen?
It's not very exciting, but I think they probably just call, like, do you have somebody you can call to come get the dog?
oh,
So
then they have to call your mom.
hopefully he has a friend, but if not, then that dog might have, might wind up at a shelter and needs a new home now. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if he was a great doggy dad to begin with. To
Oh,
blame him for
clearly
that.
not.
So
I
don't
just think
think
such a
so.
bad idea. Like, why would that be your excuse? Like switching seats with the dog? That
He-
seems like a terrible
Well,
one. He panicked for
He
sure.
panicked.
You know what? I think anything feels better than getting caught drunk driving. So
Yeah, he should have said the dog was in his way. He should have had the dog in his lap and been like, I don't know, officer, I didn't mean to be
Yeah,
driving
right.
so crazy.
I have an emergency
My
with the dog.
my dog, he just peed all over me, and I was freaking out while driving. But clearly, not a good choice to hold switcheroo.
oh yeah.
This is The Riot. Radio U.
Well, this is one way to smuggle cocaine. Actually, I think this is a brilliant way. If I was going to smuggle cocaine, this is how I would do it, with a fake pregnant belly.
Don't you think people? Well, I guess you shouldn't say anything.
Yeah,
so
exactly. You
no one
never
would even ask you.
Never question anyone if they're pregnant. You just don't do it. But see, it all went wrong for this couple in South Carolina where they were pulled over. The man of the couple was driving erratically.
Yeah.
And so that is, weaving through lanes, stuff like that. So that led to them being pulled over. But obviously, nobody at that time knows, they've got cocaine hidden. But after they get pulled over, when being questioned, the guy just volunteers that, by the way, my wife is pregnant. Well, that's a weird thing to bring up, isn't it?
Well, I think he's probably, worried.
Yeah, clearly he's nervous.
And he's
Way
trying.
to point that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's trying, but
just play it cool, man.
to him, he
What is
thought
this,
he
your
was.
first time? So
Clearly his first time trying to do
So-
anything illegal.
The problem is that now eventually him and his wife are being, they're both being questioned. And actually, I don't know if it's his wife, but him and the lady are being questioned, and they're giving conflicting due dates.
Oh, the story.
They shouldn't
Yeah.
even have brought it up in the first place. What a couple of terrible thieves.
Yeah, exactly. What were they doing? So that was what started to lead the police officer to question the situation in the first place. And this is great. The guy fled from the officers as they began to get more suspicious of the conflicting story. And so he took off running. The guy did once they got him out of the vehicle. And that was actually that was the lady. The lady ran off running, and she's wearing that fake pregnant belly, and you run the fake pregnant belly with the drugs inside, and they fall out.
Oh, they fell out?
Yeah.
So that's how they caught her?
So the jig was up at that point.
Oh, they say there was also marijuana.
Well, that's the least of their worries.
1,500 grams of cocaine, and they say it's not every day they see stuff like that. I would just love, this is why I like watching the cop clips, the body cam footage and stuff, because, I would just start laughing. I don't know if I could handle this.
Yeah. You almost want to just let him go just because it's so comical.
Well, at this point, though, they did do a lot.
Thanks for the laughs. Be on your way. Don't do this again.
So they said they just gave different information about their destination, the due date, all that stuff, and they realized she was not pregnant and there was cocaine in there.
Isn't that crime 101?
Don't give too much information away.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't volunteer information that you're not required to, and get your story straight.
Well, I maybe assumed they would not be pulled over because it's not uncommon. Like, again, when you watch like the airport shows, people are getting pulled over and they have like a boot on or like a sling and stuff, and they hide the drugs in there. So maybe they thought by just bringing up the pregnancy, like, wow, they gave information. She's pregnant. It must be real. I don't know.
I think that their new move should be just not running behind.
Yeah.
Because then you wouldn't have got pulled over if you weren't driving like an idiot. Like, had you been on time, then you would think, if you have this whole heist, you think you'd be running on time. That way you don't have to speed.
He also almost hit a semi-truck, so they said that's really what got them pulled over because they almost collided with that.
Yeah, just another thing. Play it cool. Drive normally if you've got contraband in the vehicle. Yeah, seeing people just fail at crime like this really makes me want to get in the biz and show them how it's
yes,
done.
you can do better.
Way better than this.
Yeah. The bar is low here. I think I could do better than getting caught with cocaine in a fake pregnant belly.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
You ever think about how almost every relationship has pet names? Every couple you've got like, honey, sweetie, whatever, but those are generic ones. So many couples have like specific ones, and are they not all embarrassing?
For pet names?
Yeah.
Normally, because it's so personal between you and your special little bunny that I think that tends to be more embarrassing when it gets found out.
You guys ever have, obviously they're all embarrassing, but you ever have one that like you just hate?
If someone's given me?
Yeah, the other person's giving you and you just...
And do you say anything or you just let it go? Because it obviously means more to the other person to call you that.
Or do you
question.
think, I think especially guys do this, they might use that pet name just to irritate their lady.
You would do that?
Yeah, I think I would.
Seems like you might. Seems like you do.
That's the least of the things I do to irritate my wife.
Is there a pet name you want to unveil? Or?
You know what? Actually, she likes it. It's and I don't know how this came about, but her pet name is Bugabug.
Bugabug?
Yeah.
Not Bugaboo or
What?
No.
Bugabug?
I want to hear you say that in a sentence. Bugabug?
Bye,
Yeah.
Bugabug. Love
Like, that's
you.
so
Happy
long.
day.
Usually it's like a cute little thing, like a little
Like
quick
what?
thing.
Like go for it.
Like
What-
babe, like honey, like cutie.
Wait, those are generic.
Yeah, but you're saying like, hey there, Bugabug, little boogie boog. Like
Yeah,
what?
that's
I want to hear you
it
say
is
it.
embarrassing.
Does she have one for you?
No, she knows.
She calls
better
him
than
Smooky
that.
Pie or something real long like that. She has to have one
pie.
for you.
Pumpkin
Well,
pie.
what is yours then? Like what is?
What are you talking about, Hudson? No women care about me.
No, not now.
Oh,
but
no, now.
You
in
never
the
had
past,
a bad
see,
one.
in my life, I've always asked for nicknames.
Yeah.
And
You
I
asked
never
for
get
it.
one.
Now, wait. Now, romantic stuff aside, like sometimes like relatives will give you a nickname. Like your mom will have one when you were a kid. Did you
Yeah.
ever get one that was a cute nickname then?
Not really.
What is
It's
it
hard
about
for
you?
Isaiah. Like, it's a hard name to have like a cute little
Yeah, but-
nickname of.
But that's pet names don't often
about-
have.
I know, but like no woman in my life have ever really given me a good
And
nickname.
None have been
Isn't
that
that
attached
sad?
to you, huh?
Isaiah Boo.
Isaiah, I know. I had.
Izzy
you
boy.
want to know some of the recent things I've been called recently?
Yeah, let's
The
hear
other
it.
day I got called Turkey.
No.
Turkey?
Yeah, that was
By who?
by this girl who was trying to give me a nickname, and she called me Turkey.
Oh, that feels
She
wrong.
thought
that doesn't
was
seem
cute.
like
Were
doesn't seem
you-
like a pet name, does it?
No.
Were you gobbling?
And then
or-
you know what's weird is a girl prior used to call me Chicken.
No.
And that also doesn't feel like a name, like a
Well,
cute pet
no.
name.
Are you trying to meet people on that farmer's app?
Yeah, the farmers only. Yet again, that's where I found myself. No, they were both normal girls.
There's something about you that just gives off foul
Poultry.
vibes.
I guess
poultry
so.
vibes.
Poultry vibes. Yeah, I got called turkey about 2 days ago. I got called chicken a couple months ago. Many a times. These
From
are both
people
odd
that,
names.
that were liking you, or is
Yeah,
that a
yeah.
mean?
No, girls that I was hanging out with.
Because
Yeah.
that could be like mean slang.
No, it was they were trying to be
Were
nice.
they,
I think.
Were they like awkward outside of that, or
No, they were normal. I got a text a couple mornings ago. Good morning, turkey. I was like, that seems like a
just
weird one.
Trying something different?
I guess you just mixing it up.
Listen, if you're with someone, you got to feel it out, though. You just got. It might take a few fails till you find your pet
You know,
name for somebody.
it's wild that we're really ragging on this whole turkey thing when somebody in this room is referred to as a bunny.
No, mine is Bun Bun. And
That
it's
is the
not,
same
Is that
thing.
based off of Bunny?
It
That's
is.
off of Honey Bun.
It is Honey Bun, and or just Bunny in general. And it's my phone is set to say Bun Bun for some reason. So like if you log into Bluetooth,
I
or
love that.
something like I think we
Yeah.
even logged in when we were doing a Switch thing
Yeah,
once.
your Nintendo Switch is
Oh
when
my
the
gosh.
secret was out.
Bun Bun's phone.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
I was just like, I have to change that because again, pet names are fine when it's between you two, but not if everybody else sees it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I would not call my wife Bug-a-Bug in front of people.
I think that's the best part, though.
That'd be ridiculous.
Is when you're just slinging it around in public and really embarrassing them.
The worst one I got that I hated was Hairy Bear.
Ooh.
Harry Bear.
Yeah.
I knew somebody was calling you Harry. I knew that was it.
That's so
It's
bad.
the worst, right?
Harry Bear. I like that.
And that's why that relationship didn't last.
That is wrong.
Crystal says she calls her kids Turkey.
Turkey.
So you're not alone.
There we go. I
You're
guess that's.
just like one of Crystal's children.
I want to hear some people text in their weird pet names. I know people have weird ones. I want them to text them in, but they probably won't even be able
They're
to.
too embarrassed.
They won't be
right?
able to garner the courage to text in what they're called.
Listen, we're happy to share in your pet name, and then maybe one will work for Isaiah in the future.
I could use one.
8772 Radio U.
The Riot. Radio U.
People have been texting in their pet names for each other, and man, I guess not a single one that I've seen not embarrassing when you hear it outside of
The context of the
if
relationship.
it's not you. Justin says he's called his wife Punk since they started dating.
See, I have asked.
and they've been married for 8 years.
I haven't heard his response back, but I asked, does she like that name as a punk nickname? I'm not sure.
She doesn't hate it enough to get to not be with him. So
Did you see Mark's?
Mark says that we should call Isaiah Squab,
I hate that.
which I had to look up. That just sounds horrible. A squab is it's a meat. It's an immature domestic pigeon,
You
a
could
young
be that.
pigeon?
which that's
Perfect.
accurate. Yeah.
That does
sounds-
sound like something someone would call me.
Because
Yeah.
Isaiah said that someone called him turkey and then chicken, and so like he has this weird poultry nickname thing going on.
So we're calling me Squab?
Squab
Yeah.
fits perfectly.
I don't know if I like Squab.
You're an immature domestic pigeon.
I don't know if I like pigeon. I think I like turkey better than that, to be honest. And chicken. I would rather be called chicken or turkey than squab.
No,
Well,
sorry. It's
Squab
sticking.
just sounds offensive.
It's sticking now. It does sound like it. There's also probably some other meaning on Urban Dictionary. We don't know
yeah,
about,
squab.
We're gonna risk it because I think it's so perfect.
It's worth it.
I love Zach's. He gets called Fuzzbend, which is a fuzzy husband because he has a beard.
Yeah.
I love that one. That's a cute nickname.
You're gonna start calling Eric Fuzzbend.
His beard's
My little
beyond.
Fuzzbend.
I don't know. I don't want to take someone's nickname, but it is pretty cute.
Jason says his pet name from his wife is Honey Pickle, and he calls her Honey Bunny.
Aw,
He
Honey
goes by-
Bunny's a good
Honey
one.
Bunny's cute. How
That
did you
one's
get
good.
stuck with Honey Pickle?
Well, it just works, I guess, with their relationship.
That's just Jason. He's just a Honey Pickle.
He is one honey pickle.
All right. Well, what we've learned from this is that Isaiah is now going to be called Squab from
No,
this
I
show
hate
forward.
that.
Oh,
I
I
hate
like D.
squab.
She calls her husband Amour.
Aw,
May
more.
amor.
How French. I love
Lovely.
it. Still embarrassing.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.